So I've got that pipe, but when I blow down there, put my thumb off there, it just shoots out that pipe. So this one, Ideal Logic, there's quite a few things wrong with this one. I can't believe it's been left that long, but that's the type of engineers that I'm out there sometimes. Welcome back, YouTube. Hope you're all well. Got 3 jobs for you this week. One of them's an update on that Worcester boiler that I showed you last week. We actually got back there to try and fix it. We've got a radiator to move, but the pipework left us scratching our heads. So it's moved from one wall to another. Thought it'd be a simple job, cap it off, move the pipework. It wasn't. I don't know how they've piped it up. See if you can work that one out. Then we got a job, customer phone, so never worked with them before. They want a safe check doing on the boiler and a service. But on our first visit, we had to at-risk the boiler. Even though the customer had been paying for a service every year, this wasn't picked up. So check that one out. I hope it highlights the importance of doing all your safety checks. Thank you all again for your support. Really appreciate it. As always, please look at subscribing. It really helps me out. Give the video a thumbs up. And as always, any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to get back to you. And let's take a look at this week's work. It's been an interesting one. The customer wants a bigger radiator. And don't want it there though. Don't want it there. Now, uncommon in the Midlands is hollow floor. Don't get this here off. It's normally concrete. However, them pipes there, you'd expect to be run like through that way and up. But I've got 2 pipes here. 1, 2. I'll get this board up. 2 pipes here, which shoot back onto there, which I can't get to because it's a wooden floor. Feeds this radiator. Feeds that radiator. Now getting onto the new pipes and the new rod, pretty simple to be fair. I've got flow return, 15mm just there, 22mm just there. So we've got flow return, that feeds another radiator. So we can do 15mm circuits to this one. However, I'll go try and figure out the feed to this one so we can blank it off. I was expecting to get them floorboards up, you know, and be direct into the rod, but it's not. So I've got to figure out which pipe does what. Let the fun commence. So first thing I'm going to do, I think, is drain it down, get the rad on the wall while it's drained down. Yeah, get the rad on and just take it from there, I suppose. The drain off's pretty good. We've got one in the garage, straight away to the drain. So let's get the radiator off. So we've got another one to fit later, but we use the Alcyon ones from City Plumbing. Pretty good to be fair, on price. Got some lagging as well from the new 15mm pipes and them floors. Get you right the way. So yeah, let's get this rad off. Get it on. I've got 1200 by 600 type 21. I did want a type 22, but the customer wanted type 21. So let's get this in. So the customer's actually put a bit of tape on the wall. That's where he wants the edge of the rad. Bracket 1, mark the wall. Bracket 2, mark the wall. Hang the rad. Dead easy. This is one of the first jobs you'll learn as an apprentice. How to hang a rad, because once you know how to hang a rad, you actually become useful. I've done lots of videos on fitting rads. I've actually got a training Thursday, head fit a rad, so I am just going to get this running and crack on with sorting the pipe work out underneath there. So the Alcyon rads, I'm about 25mm to the bottom, so yeah, I just eyeballed it. Just thought, well, bottom of the rad would be about there, a bit of a gap between there, perfect. So I'll just put on there, drill, plug, screw, crack it on, rad on wall, easy peasy. Let's get this on, then hopefully that should be near enough drained down. So radiator's all on. Not a bad guess with the height, eyeballing that. What I've done now is mark this board because it's the one that needs to come up for the pipe to go there. Make my life a little bit easier. Get this one up. I've already checked there's no pipes or wires there. So yeah, just going to get the multi-tool, cut across there. But where would we be without this little gadget? Honestly, one of the best inventions ever. Absolutely love it. Let's get this cut. Making some progress. I'll put the TRV here because it's close to the door. Just notched it out. Bit of felt wrap on there, just stop from going tick, 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 tick. Yeah, if you've got a problem with pipes going tick, 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 it's normally because the pipe is pushing on the wood too close. So what we're going to do now is cut this pipe, connect that onto there. Easy peasy. Well, an easy. You've got a press gun, so really, I ain't got to drain down, have I? I have drained down, so I've got to take that right off, but I ain't got to fully drain down, which is a massive advantage. On the tiles, yeah, no rapid blue stuff, but nice and easy. So yeah, let's get this put, see how much water's left. Oh, that was a bit disappointing, there's nothing left. Thought there's a lot more than that. Oh, there it is. There you go. Maybe we'll be better. That much goes underneath there. That'll pull back away. Yeah. So we can get in the tea in there. This is where it presses an absolute time saver. So you can see, still full of water. But yeah, press the button and this will be done. Change the battery now. That is flat as a pancake. Yep, there you go. I think I'll worry about the water in the pipe. Imagine if your salesman try and get that water in. Yeah, I know you can push down on the pipe and do it, but yeah, I do love me press now. Let's get the other side done and straight in. There you go, all done. Took me about 2 minutes to cut that in. Yeah, it really does save time pressing. I'll just put my spirit level on there to make sure that the board's going to go back down. It will. I have measured it. But the skin of its teeth, it will fit under there, I promise you. But yeah, that's that side done. Let's look at doing that side. So moved on to this side. Let me just show you what it's about to saying like the press machine, because I think earlier the battery was dying. I've charged the battery. I'm just going to clamp that on. Press the button. There we go. Seemed like it was dying there. That's normally how quick it is. Yeah, that was all ready to go now. Honestly, customer bought me a cup of coffee. I bet you, by the time I've started this when they brought it in, and I bet you I have it done before it's even get cold. Easy peasy. Right, so, capping these off, what I've managed to do is knock some of the skirt in out and give this pipe a wiggle. See that? Just a slight, get a big angle, slight movement now, so I'm guessing if I cut and cap that, that should kill that feed there. So I've cut that pipe, when I blow down there, put my thumb off there, it just shoots out that pipe. And I've got this radiator off. So what the heck, where's that fit off? It's not making no sense because you move that. That pipe moves, unless they've, that's something they've teed off somewhere. The only thing I can think is to do big loose, so I've had to take the skirting board off. I've had to cap it. So I'm hoping once I've tested it, I can just push that down into that hole. I don't know how ideal, but that's the only thing I can think to do. And there's a reason why we use a reducer and a 15mm cap. Because we run out of 10mm caps. Yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do. That one as well. Push that back, but very, very strange. So if it was me, I would have come off them circs there to the rad here. I don't know how they've done that now. That is a very, very weird, but that's all capped. That's all piped. We can fill up and test and have a much needed clean up because I'm working in chaos again. Well, we're filling up one bar and the customer screaming leak, so hopefully we should be okay. I am going to test it up to temperature though. Always check your joints to temperature, especially soldered ones, so I have known them leak before when they've got hot, so we'll run this to temp and make sure there's no leaks and then put all them balls back. So I got all the balls back there and we said the pipe's going to end like that. Yeah, it's not the best solution. I mean, the best solution would be getting that floor, finding the T, capping it off, but obviously I have ripping that floor for that, so I'll push it back in the wall there. That will go back, and the skating boards put back, and yeah, the radiators all in, new pipe work. Yeah. Happy days, job done. Yeah. Yeah, so this one, Ideal Logic, there's quite a few things wrong with this one. I'll put the seal on my last visit. Landlord wanting the board serviced. They've had the certificate done, but they wanted it serviced. And we encountered a lot of them. First fault was pressure keeps dropping, licensing book expansion, but the PRV is passing, hence why the pressure's near enough on zero again. Auto air vents leaking. But the real problems come when we went in the loft. That's what it's got now. I'll show you that in a minute. But first of all, just go drain down and get these parts replaced. As you can see, we're doing a full strip down service as well. See, I've never been done by the looks of it, so I've got to replace auto air vent, floor leak on it, and the PRV. Now, that is just off Worcester, but it's cheaper than the Ideal. It's exactly the same part. It's exactly the same. Shop around for your parts because that fits backseas as well. I'm sure it does some backseas, that'll fit. So yeah, what you got to do is twist it and pull it out. Be a bit hard to film, but I'll do my best to try and film it for you. There you go. Twist. And it's out. Yeah, water quality is shocking on this. PRV, we'll just loosen that up. And you just unscrew that now. You get the ball, you just drain it out. Still so it's stuck in there. Put my finger in. Here we go. I should be able to get that out. Yeah. Very good, isn't it? It's a new PRV. We'll just get that. Screw that in. Make sure you clean the seating first because there's a big gunk on it. Clean it up. New PRV. That'll be absolutely fine. There we go. I'm just going to get in there and give that a tighten. We need to stick it all away back as well. Make sure that the rubber O-ring comes out. Sometimes I've left it in and I'm struggling to get it in, wondering why, because I've left the O-ring in there. It's a new auto O-ring, you just line it up. I'll show you the best I can, then you just twist. It's very hard to film, but that's in there. Once it's in, just give it a wiggle and a tug just to make sure you've gnawed it up. PRV, just make sure that's reset and that's them two all replaced. Spoiler, both the parts, PRV, auto event, all done. Full strip of clean. Yeah, I've done that loads, so I didn't film it. First problem with the flue, no fire stop. Dead easy, just like that. I'll put some filler in there. Right, let me show you the flue up there now. Right, so I just come up the loft. Here's the flue. There's not one bracket on that flue. Don't forget the landlord's been paying for the service every year and not one person has come up to check the flue. Honestly, if you're a gas engineer, you're that lazy that you can't bother to come up into a loft and check a flue, just quit your job. Just quit your job. Because I you tell you if your love's gone out. Unbelievable. So yeah, gotta put some brackets on there. It'll take 10 minutes to do this. So the support brackets we like to use is the Worcester ones. They've just got a lot of range of movement on them. You can have them angled and they're just easy to fit. More expensive, but these are well easy to fit, and yeah, they're pretty solid to be fair. So yeah, the Worcester ones, I've just put one on the bottom there. Let's put one on there, the one at the very top. So that's the top one, that's on a rod. Yeah, just fitted perfect, so I thought, you know, just stick the rod one in, because they am a bit more sturdy than the Worcester. I mean, the Worcesters are fine, they're still sturdy. But yeah, I've got 3 supports, one there, one down there. It took me about 20 minutes to do that. So yeah, I just can't believe that's been left like that all these years. And just before I go, there is one other thing on this flue that I should be doing, but it's been really, really nitpicky. What is it? It's on there. Put it in the comments if you know. But yeah, that is a lot better than what it was. Nice and supported now. I just can't believe it's been left that long. But that's the type of engineers that I'm out there sometimes. They do 5-10 minute services, do about 10 a day, 2 more for 40 quid, and they're happy doing that. But they're going to get caught out, because if that flue comes apart, worst case scenario, and it hurts somebody, yeah, always check your flues in lofts. So all those are instilled up now. Flue brackets on, take that off, there we go. I don't think I'm putting my plumbing cape on, good look at me, I'm a hero, I'm not. Just make sure you check your flues, and if you're not checking flues and you're just pushing around, take the time, man. You're going to get caught out one day, you really am. So yeah, the whole point of the video is, you just because someone's been checked for 9 years don't mean that there ain't nothing wrong with it, as I found out on this one. But that's all sorted. Happy days. Right, we're back at this one. Remember this one, I've done a full episode on this. Done the burner gasket, full strip down clean, but we had a blocked plate or so before. So today we're back doing the plate. So I've just got the arse pipe on, diverter, I've just took that out, moved it into mid position, condensate trap out the way. Underneath I've had to cut the board out so we've got access, but you can see there I've cut the hot water pipe out. Because on Worcester, if you didn't know, you've got a big enough gap there now. So when I undo them two, sorry, it's very hard to see, but there's a screw there, a screw there, that should drop down and I'll be able to get it out of that gap. Now, I've got a full episode on how to remove a plate heat exchanger on these because it's a bit more depth, but basically you move the hot pipe out of the way, you undo the screws, drop it down and it'll come out. Easy. It is pretty easy when you've got the movement. The flow meter do go up the back, so I'm hoping I have got the movement, but yeah, I'm going to swap that plate out, try it again, because before, as soon as you put the bath tap on, it was overheating, so I'm 99.9% sure it's definitely the plate. Let's get it swapped and find out. Just show you the problem with this one. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it's just bunged up with magnetite pretty bad. You'll find it's all blocked along there. So the one we fitted though is not brand new. It's a refurb. It's a refurb. It was like 170 for the plate. Got a refurb, 35 quid. So basically, it's just the plate cleaned out. No brainer. That'll do the job. So yeah, instead of cleaning it, just got a bought a refurb. Let's see how we go with it. Right, boiler, it's all back together. I don't know if you can notice that. That's modulation. The boiler's actually modulating now. I've actually just got the tapping here on. You can see it's low flow. Wow, that is hot. Hot. But yeah, the boiler's staying in there, so it's definitely a block plate. So I'm hoping now, that's it. There's no more problems with this boiler. Really glad I filmed that one for YouTube. From start to finish, just to give you my full process of how I was going through it. I think we've come to the right conclusion. Yeah, new plate, new gasket, all cleaned out. That was just a few more years left in it now. So thank you to everyone that commented on all your ideas, even if you just agreed with me or, you know, put into the comments some instant tips from people or myself. Yeah, bang on, really appreciate it. But yeah, I'm really happy we managed to get that one all up and running.